Broadcast live.
What's up? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good, yeah. How are you?
Do you mind me sharing your Uber alias?
Oh my God. That's good. But I guess you can, because I don't think hopefully the Uber drivers aren't watching.
The Uber drivers are watching right now. Puppies, man, they're waiting for the trip, you know?
Sure.
As a side note, you know, she's got like Chinese heritage. Yeah,
Oriental.
Oriental, as we say.
Yeah, Oriental ancestry somehow.
She's got Oriental ancestry somehow. So, Uber, when you find samurai, you must know that you mustn't expect a ninja. Although you're gonna come there with a guitar all the time, as if like Uzolo, bad, you know?
Telling people my secrets. No, it's fine.
How you doing?
I'm well. I'm really good. Yeah.
For me, you know, I've just like seen you like just. When you get onto like a Sanel track, a Kabza track, you get onto your own joints, you just keep on like transitioning in different sounds. You just fit into sounds, you know? How do you even choose a genre to do to a point that you even make a double album? You know what I mean?
I think the first thing about me is that I really just don't need a lot to make a song, you know, 2 chords and I'm already inside.
Yeah.
So the nature of those chords, the framing of those chords, the genre, unfortunately, it's not something that I hold in high esteem. I think it's a way for people to sort of categorize and sort music and make sense of it in certain ways. I think there's a beauty in a collective identity. So I love identifying as a storyteller, as a singer-songwriter. I've always loved movements where people locate themselves within a sound, like what the Motswako was doing, you know?
Yeah.
I think there's beauty in that, but there's a part of me that's resisting belonging too tightly to a group because my actual first love is music, and music comes in classical form. I write with my string quartets, you know, I'm happy to do a gom track or like, it's just 2 chords and I'm inside.
Yeah. You know, I'm also very obsessed with people's success, you know, and really obsessed with how people are successful within a generation, you know. And I always, from a global perspective, I always kind of use Drake as the example, you know, and I go, you know, Drake is almost like this successful artist because besides him being a pretty boy, you know, he seems so accessible. He's not like a rapper. I'm a rapper always blinging. It's like you can't get to them, you know?
Sure. And
I feel that like you are also, you carry that same energy, you know? You carry that energy of like, you know, you're like a superstar, but like I can connect to you. You know what I mean?
A superstar.
Well, I mean, like you think about the type of songs that you've done, the type of music and how big they are. How conscious are you of how you present yourself in the market? You know, without you losing who you are.
It's such a timely question because I'm thinking a lot about that. You know, that I've been able to make it so far. Just sharing music and getting the love and energy back because of music. There's not a lot else that I'm sharing intentionally, and that is the main thing, you know? And some of those choices are hard, you know, like I love my kids, I want to share my kids, but I decide not to for certain reasons. And the main message is that I'm learning how to be a carrier of songs, a catcher of songs, and I'm learning how to locate my spiritual gift and my healing gift within that gift, which is music to me, you know? So that's the main thing, and if that remains the main thing, then I'm kind of on the right path. But the thing about how you're perceived, it's not really up to me. My main thing is to really also denounce some of the weird privileges and strange things that happen when you are being put on a pedestal because of this gift.
Yeah.
The gift that we have.
Yeah.
People are gifted in all different ways. People are gifted ADs, people are gifted dancers, people are gifted actuaries, but because everybody is essentially a musician and a creative, there's something about how we are kind of pedestaled and then also torn down when we're not, you know, when we're fallible. There's a part of me that's resisting that chat. I'm not interested in the C word, like I'm almost allergic to that whole celebrity idea because I know I'm a human being and I know that what I'm here for is because I'm a vessel and I cannot be put on a pedestal just because I'm receiving and sharing.
Yeah.
The same way that a talented dancer shouldn't be, I mean, I don't know, you know what I mean, that we're treated slightly differently to other people that are excellent at other things that they do.
Yeah.
And it becomes toxic at some point, and there's a part of me that's not interested in that conversation. And focusing on the fact that I'm a vessel and trying to keep the vessel clean is what keeps me, you know, on track.
I mean, talking about that energy, you know, of giving out music, you have been from the beginning of your career. You basically like have, you know, it was more like I don't even know what the genre is. It's like folky kind of guitar, and you've kind of evolved into like mainstream. Do you think that like you've also been able to kind of like keep the same fans growing with you? And how do you keep the fans growing with you? Because we always come from a world, I mean, we're an underground rap group.
Sure.
It's immediately when we got the mainstream success, it was like, you've sold out or whatever the case be, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, how have you been keeping the people that literally came up with you? We've got someone in the room today that came up with you, that DM'd you a while ago from one of your earlier songs, you know, and but you've been an artist that's evolved completely, you know, with your sound. So how do you keep those fans satisfied in the balance? Does that even matter?
It matters a lot because I'm keeping myself balanced, you know. That is my, you know, as a singer-songwriter, that is, I would call the skin and bones of my songs. Yeah. Every single song that I can perform as a house track, I've got a version of it with just me and guitar. And in some spaces, that's all I'm performing. And I think people also recognize that the soul of the song is that, and if it shows up with a casing of a lock drum and, you know, everything that comes with another genre, I don't think I've completely disappeared. I'm still showing up as myself. And there's a part where the people that have been with me since 2013, when I released my first EP, recognize me still there. And then for the ones that need a bit more help, there's so many ways to engage me when I'm just the skin and bones, because I'm performing just with guitar and voice all the time, or just with my band, or just with the string section. And even now in November, I'm doing like a full tour where the album is being performed live, you know. But I've also come to terms with the fact that there's a duality about me, and I'm also in a period of synthesis where I'm putting those two things together. My electronic sets are becoming more acoustic. I'm playing more live, even when I'm playing with a DJ. My acoustic sets are becoming more electronic. I'm bringing my OP1 synth, I'm programming live. So there is an evolving, just because I want to keep myself interested as a creative, that's happening naturally. But you can always find me as myself.
You know, it's a bit, I don't know whether serendipitous, you know,
serendipitous,
because your success came from at least your mainstream break for a lot of people who never caught you when you were still in your indies. You know, your big break really came from the Prince KB joint, Fetch Your Life. And here's the reality of that, is that your whole career has been about fetching your life. You know, if you think about it, that's what I was thinking about now. If you think about it, you were telling me the other day that like, I asked you, who taught you how to play the guitar? Where did that come from? And what'd you say to me?
I was like, I told you that I was tired of waiting for other musicians that were studying music. I wasn't a music student at varsity. I was tired of waiting for them to be inspired to go and create. So I was like, let me learn an instrument so that I can be the vehicle for my own songs. And it was easy for me to choose the guitar because my heroes were like Janis Joplin and Joan Armatrading and Tracy Chapman and Vusi Mahlasela and Louis Mhlanga, that I already identified with the singer-songwriter tradition as a medium. So it was natural that I went to guitar. Yeah.
You fetched your life.
I fetched my guitar.
And I mean, and then everything else, then you taught yourself. Like, what else did you teach yourself, you know?
Just programming, I'm teaching myself Logic. It's all a learning curve. Like now I'm learning Ableton because I'm trying to program things live. It's fun for me. And everything that I've learned this way has become quite valuable, because when you teach yourself something and you need to learn it, like lockdown humbled me, you know? I started respecting my engineers when I had to bounce stems properly, when I was like, yo, these people are doing the Lord's work, and it's not my passion, but it's nice to know how to do certain things so that the value chain of music carries on and doesn't stop with me.
Yeah. And that's why I was saying it is almost like ironic that like the biggest song that breaks you into the market is about Fetch Your Life, but that's actually really your journey and your career. And that's why I think that's why people connect with you so much also, is because, you know, you would say, yes, I'm a mother, you know, and but like you out here looking like you're part of SWAT, you know what I mean? You're out here you about to grab a guitar, you know, you about to, and you'll be out with the ravers, you know, and then sometimes you're out there with the guys that are like throwing peace signs all the time, you know what I mean? It's almost like in all aspects you are fetching your life, and you're not saying, no, but because I got kids, I gotta be like this. Or because I'm in a family, I gotta be like this. And I think that really resonates to people. And without you giving us your life, we already feel that. I don't know if you've ever thought about that like, that's what's really also translating. And that's what people also kind of get engaged to, you know what I mean?
I've never thought about it like that. But I've meditated on the idea of fetching your life quite deeply to the point where, you know, I've named my first foundation after it. It's called Fetch Your Life Foundation. And it's just because the lament in that song is literally about young people and how we are trapped living these lives where we are not actualizing. And you're just sort of coasting through the week because you have to survive. And then the weekend is a time to release. So that whole like we live for the weekend, I'm lamenting out of pain for what young people or people that can't be aligned to their dreams are going through. And it's a prayer to be like, take that step, you know, if you're able to go, I'm quitting this and I've got a bit of security to try that idea that I've had. It's meant to be one of those nudges to be like, what is placed inside of you is not a mistake. You need to follow it. You cannot live a life where you are just surviving. And I mean, our parents had to do it, and we're the generation that is meant to be self-actualizing. And hopefully our children, it will be no question that they are living their passions if we provide the environment, you know. Unfortunately, the parent that is meant to be making it easier for young people, you know, the government or the space that is meant to be cares a lot less than they do. So we have to think about how we make things a little bit easier for young people to align with their dreams. I think it's up to us, you know.
You know, you've literally like, you come from the footsteps of in a generation of like up-tempo music and awareness and consciousness. You know, the people like Simphiwe Dana, Thandiswa Mazwai, you know, who literally like, well, particularly like a Thandiswa Mazwai, who literally like came from a Kwaito world, but then in a way she kind of had more to say, to express, because there was more depth in that, you know. Do you feel that's also created a foundation for you to also like really speak what's in your heart, without you like thinking, hey, it just always has to be catchy, you know?
Oh no,
yeah,
no, definitely not. I mean, those are the kind of people that look up to. They're kind of my big sisters. I don't even come from the same. I looked up to them. They were making music when I was still thinking about making music, and they were kind of carving a path, you know, of consciousness and authenticity and Africanness that was unseen, you know, before. You know, Mambu Simhlongo got to sort of give that baton to them, and they had real interactions. I think for me, having an atmosphere like that and a kind of being on their shoulders, and they're accessible and they're encouraging and they're still excellent and performing today, that releases us to kind of it helps me find my Msaki shaped space. It gives me permission to find my own way to figure out how I want to be relevant and past and future and African, and I guess consciousness is not something that I think needs to be performed. It's like, if that thing hurt me because, you know, this is the rape capital of the world, and my outpouring and my response was a song to deal and traverse the pain, because that's what music is for me. It's a way to move through the joy and the pain. Then the byproduct of it is going to be a song that seems activist-like, but it's just me being present in the moment and doing my job as a lamenter. If as Kali, Tina, Sikuze, as artists, as the people that feel the first tremors, you know, then that means that the society is sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in closing, because I do have you here, you know, yeah. Statues, you know, that's my joint, right?
Oh, wow.
So where did that come from? Where, like lyrically, where did that come from?
Have you listened to the version with the band, like the orchestra, and the one with Da Capo and Black Motion?
I've actually just heard the Da Capo one.
The Da Capo one.
Yeah.
So they essentially sampled my entire band, like my string section, my drummer, my double bassist. And they took it and put it in a session, and they turned it into this like saga of a house song, you know. But the lyrics and the content comes from thinking that toppling the statues outside, the work is done. When, you know, we went to schools that were whitewashing us from the inside, that were, you know, kind of the erasure of our identity and our language was just a cunning and thorough process that was part of life, you know. You get to school, they call it the enrichment class. That time they're telling you, don't speak that language here. And all of those things are part of our reality. We didn't have words for these things. And some of the younger generation now, which is not even younger, but the fullest generation, they've managed to find words for these things like white privilege and gaslighting. We didn't have those things, but we're in that space figuring out what is happening to us. And whiteness is very, very violent, you know, and it's very, you don't see it happening to you when they are replacing the things that are actually meant to be valuable. I should have an arsenal of things that I can use as a cultural worker, and that is just from my language. But because of my schooling system that I was sent through, some of those things were taken away and replaced with things that I don't need, you know? So statues was about the statues that are inside. Yes, we can topple the ones and we need to, but the internal ones that are where you're accessing what language and privilege and proximity to whiteness is giving you in the real world, you need to think about denouncing those privileges and what that means in terms of fetching your life, you know, as a Xhosa or as a Mtswana, or, you know. But it's an ongoing conversation, and that song was just the start.
Man, yeah. I knew there was something about that. It's the statues, it's just fetching your life. We've got Msaki here on the Unplug, and I think that is the beauty of it. Askagabi abantu abamnyama until says ukuthi yini ukuba umuntu omnyama according to ourselves.
Yeah.
You cannot fetch it if you've been told ukuthi umuntu omnyama ukhuluma isilungu so.
Nekuzilande.
Umuntu omnyama mele uzilande ecala ukuthi wena usikhulume the way wena usikhuluma ngakhona. Ngoba ama-French mabasibhede isilungu kulungile asikhali. You understand? Kukahle, kusexy. Nathi mele sisibhede isilungu singasikhombani. Sithi hey, ngifetch life yami in this way, I'm fetching the way I want to fetch it, I like the way I like. Msaki, Unplug, see lives need direct the way we want to tell you, the way we want to tell you. We are fetching our lives. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
You are amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Broadcast live